take a look at a really interesting George Harrison song. This is Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp from George's first real solo album, third one he really recorded. This is from All Things Must Pass. Now, I really recommend that you pick up the 50th anniversary edition that included the 3 original LPs that came with it and some great demos and outtakes later. So this song, Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp, even started its life as a song called Everybody Nobody. And I might add that to the lesson a little bit later. We'll see, especially if there's some interest in this. Because where I first heard this before the demo version came out the Everybody Nobody version was from a bootleg called Beware of Abco. That was great. It was George doing demo versions of the songs for Phil Spector to become familiar with them so that he could work on production of the album. Anyway, this song, George Harrison in 1970 he needed a bigger place. He and Patty were living in a relatively small place in just south of London, and they needed a bigger estate. And they found this spot called Friar Park that had been built in the 19th century by an attorney, Frank Crisp, who was a bit eccentric, according to reports. And 60 acres, huge house, plenty of room for George's recording studio. And so he set it up and was there. Well, his widow, Olivia, still owns it. And anyway, but so it was, and there were a lot of quirky things there, sayings written in different places, all over the property. Many of just little one sentence, half sentence ideas of Sir Frank Crisp's. And George worked many of those into songs of his, and then wrote this song, subtitled "Let It Roll," that talks about the gardens. And it sounds like an old ballad. There's a lot of yees in here, and he even drops a line in there. At one point, George kind of mortgaged the whole thing in order to bankroll, a Monty Python movie. And he even worked the line, "handkerchiefs to match your tie," in the song. If you're a Monty Python fan, you know right what I'm referring to. Anyway, the song is actually fairly simple. It's just got a descending bass line. We're going to talk about strumming it and just getting it. Oh, I don't know if I played this. The demo version had a cool little lick thrown in that we'll talk about later, separate little segment. That's about it. That's about all that shows up in the demo version that's kind of different from the produced version. That it's really hard to hear. Well, there's a couple of guitars. One is just playing little arpeggios. We might talk about that. It's not too important. Anyway, okay, that's enough talking about this already. In the next segment, we'll take a look at the chords, the progression, the strumming, and who knows, maybe a little bit more of the history. But you definitely got to check out the 50th anniversary, the super deluxe edition of All Things Must Pass.